Lesson 122. More about infinitives. In the last lesson, we learned our very first French infinitive, which is
parler,
and then we got some practice working with that infinitive in the exercises. So that was just an introduction for you to the French infinitive. Now in this lesson, we're going to show you the infinitives for all the other verbs that you know, and we're going to give you an example sentence for practicing with each of them. So let's look at our first sentence here. We've done a lot of work with the verb je suis, that means I am, but we don't know the infinitive yet. Now we're learning the infinitive, which is être, and that means to be. So if you want to say that someone wants to be something, you could use that infinitive, and that's what we do here in our example sentence. My cat wants to be a dog.
mon chat veut être un chien.
Moving on to our next example, we have j'ai, which means I have, and we've done a lot of practice with this. The infinitive form, which means to have, is the word avoir, and we use it here in our example sentence that says, I want to have a dog.
Je veux avoir un chien.
Next we have the verb for buying things, that's j'achète, and the infinitive is acheter or acheter, depending on how fast you're talking. And you can use that in a sentence like we have here. My sister wants to buy a car.
Ma sœur veut acheter une voiture.
Next we have the verb for eating, je mange. The infinitive for that verb is manger, and we use it here in our example sentence. My cat wants to eat our food.
Mon chat veut manger notre nourriture.
Next we have the verb for drinking, je bois. The infinitive is the word boire, and let's use it in a sentence. My dog wants to drink some water.
Mon chien veut boire de l'eau.
Next we have the verb for working. The infinitive form is travailler. Let's use it in a sentence. My brother's friends want to work at the bank.
Les amis de mon frère veulent travailler à la banque.
This next one is a little tricky. The verb for going, je vais is the first person singular form, but the infinitive doesn't really look anything like that. The infinitive is aller. So let's use aller in a sentence. We want to go to the mall.
Nous voulons aller au centre commercial.
And lastly, we have the verb for seeing, je vois. The infinitive is pronounced voir. Let's use that in a sentence. I want to see my friends.
Je veux voir mes amis.
And as we say here at the end, I definitely would recommend doing a lot of practice and memorization with these sentences. Just keep practicing these sentences until they're very natural, and that will help you to master these new infinitives.